Hello students, welcome to the SVB channel. I am your SST teacher Chetna Suhagya here with the second chapter of Political Science, Federalism for grade 10th. This is the second video of this chapter. In the previous video, I have taught you the basic concept of federalism, which include the three subtopics: the meaning of federalism, key features of federalism, and the exact balance between the central government and state government. In this video, we are going to understand India as a federal country. Now, when I say India as a federal country, which means that this video we are going to explore what kind of federalism do we have into our country. The federalism does vary from country to country. Like, it is not necessary the terms and conditions of federalism which is there into India, the same terms and conditions you find into the another place. It's depend upon the kind of situation on which the constitution has been made. It's depend again the what kind of the system they do follow. Okay, so let's begin with the second topic of this chapter, India as a federal country. This topic is further divided into four subtopics. The first one is three tiers of government. Second one is special status of Jammu and Kashmir. Third one is status of union territories, and fourth one is sharing of power between union government and state government. Let's explore the first one, three-tier system of government. As you all are aware, when we got an independence in 1947, at that time our country has gotten independence along with the bloodshed and the partition of Pakistan. During this time, so many princely states were there. Those who wanted to be with India, a few of them wanted to be with Pakistan. One or two maybe wanted to get an independent country. So many things were happening. In that situation, our constitution had been made, and in this constitution, in this process, when we got an independence at that time, we had declared our country as a union of state. Though it was based on federalism, principle of federalism, but we did not declare our country as a federal country. So over here we had the two-tier system in which some power was been given to the central government and some power was been given to the state government. This is how we had two-tier system initially. Later on, in 1993, the third tier was been added in the form of municipal corporation and gram panchayat. The union list. Union list includes the subject which is been national importance, like foreign affair, currency, defense, communication, and the things which does not follow at any level, like which cannot come under the union government as well as state government, and which is newly, like when we got an independence, at that time we did not have anything like computer, software, cybercrime. So all this matter which has come afterwards and which is new, all this thing does fall under the central government, yani ki union list. Now students, in case of conflict, if any kind of conflict, any kind of confusion or the conflict happen between state and the union government, at that time whatever rules, whatever law is been made by the central government does prevail. It means that in India, the union government has little more power compared to the state government. Now let's explore the state list. State list contains subjects of state and local importance like police, trade, commerce, agriculture, and irrigation. These all things can be taken care at the local level. For all the subject, the state government can make a development program in the state assembly and can work for the welfare of people. Now let's explore the third list, which is concurrent list. Concurrent list include subjects of common interest to both union and the state government like education, forest, trade unions, marriage, adoption and succession. Now students, for all those things, central government and state government, both of them are involved to make rules and regulations regarding this list, because these things are concern for both union government as well as the state government. Now let's explore the second subtopic, which is the special status of Jammu and Kashmir. In India, all the states do not enjoy the equal power. Jammu and Kashmir has got the special status. They do have their own constitution. Indian constitution was not applicable till 2019, and over there, people, those who are non Jammu and Kashmiri, all those peoples were not allowed to stay there, or not allowed to buy the properties into the Jammu and Kashmir. This thing was there till 2019. In 2019, the special status was been removed and Jammu and Kashmir had declared as an union territories. The third subtopic is the status of union territories. Students, in our country totally we do have the 9 union territories. These are the some areas which cannot be merged with the adjoining states. All these 9 union territories are such geographically, politically and culturally influenced in such a way that it cannot be declared as an independent state, because the area is small, or at many a times it happens they do have the different kind of the structure, demographical structure is different, or the cultural structure is different. So in that case we cannot declare them as an independent state, and they cannot be merged with the state which are adjoining. For an example, we do have the Daman. Like all of you are near to this place, so I'm giving an example. Daman is one of the union territory. Over there the culture is in such a way that it cannot merge with Maharashtra, as well as it cannot merge with Gujarat. So that particular area has been declared as an union territory, and when the union territory has been declared, at that time the central government do get the direct power to rule those UT. So most of the union territories are being all the union territories are being ruled by the central government. The rules and regulations, like the way we do have the Gujarat government, and Gujarat government is making rules and regulations for us for the certain subject. Same way over there they do have their local government, but they do not have the state government. They do have the 2 tiers of government in terms of federalism. They do have local government, and directly they do have the central government. Over there they do have the rules and regulations of local government and central government. The people, those who do not live into the union territories, those who live into the states, they do follow the rules and regulations of 3 government, like central government, state government and local government. 3 of this level of government are the different, but the same people are being governed by all of them. So in the status of union territories, they do have the 2 tiers of government in which the central government rule them directly. Let's explore the 4th subtopic, which is the sharing of power between union and state government. Now students, in our country, in our constitution, there is a clear process by which the power has been given in the terms of constitution. If any change has been required, then the parliament cannot change it alone. The any decision, any rules and regulation, first it has to be passed through the parliaments, both the houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, with the 1/3 majority, and then it has supposed to go through the state, and in the state legislative assembly at least the half of the legislative assembly should be agree to it, then any kind of change is been applicable to the constitution. And in case of any conflict or in case of any confusion, the Supreme Court and High Court, they do take the decision, and that has been applicable throughout the country. This is how the power sharing is been done in India. I end up with the second topic of this chapter, which is India as a federal country. I hope students, you have understood what kind of federalism do we have into our country. Now it's homework time. I hope all of you are exploring the web page of our school. PDF is been given. Please go through it. I want each of you to write all these questions into your notebook, and if you have any query, just let me know. And in the next video, I'll be explaining you decentralization in India. So please stay tuned. Thank you. Have a good day.